You know what I'm doing.
Getting shots of you struggling?
Just getting shots of you doing your thing.
Struggle is real. Yeah, so one goes to the block, then goes to the red, and then I have the remainder, I imagine, goes from Oh, hey everyone! Great victory. I'm pretty pleased with myself right now. Big, hurt the old elbow. Pat on the back. I fixed my old DeWalt table saw. Not really old actually. It was fairly new when we got it and when we got out here with it. But it up and died on us quite unexpectedly in the middle of our building of this blue box. I don't have any previous experience with electric motors, nothing in detail, and so really didn't know where to start with that. And we were under a lot of pressure. That would have been, I guess, probably October-ish, early November. We were in the middle of framing this thing and fighting, racing against the weather. So we made the decision to just kind of put all the parts that I had taken, I'd done an initial kind of started dismantling the switches and things and using my multimeter to figure out if there were some obvious issues, check it wasn't the breaker, so I thought maybe some broken wires, and so I started tracing it, but realized I'm in over my head given the constraints that we were under. So again, we just put it away in the shipping container and went off to the big city and bought ourselves a new table saw, a worm drive saw, which I absolutely love. It's great. Don't regret that at all, to be honest. But it's been nagging me that other table saw, new as it is, sitting in the shipping container doing a bunch of nothing. So again, we're not a how-to channel, so in the end, just high overview. I eliminated all the components in between, like the breaker and the slow start controller, and just put AC power directly to the motor. It worked, and then as I started to add the other components back in and tested it, it didn't work, which led me to think that some of those components I introduced were the problem. But then it was pretty frustrating, and in the end really ended up being one of the coils in the stator where it connected in this little metal lead at the bottom of the housing, so I had to take the stator right out of the housing when I was doing all my testing, and saw that there wasn't continuity from one of the nodes where the brush plugs in down to the other end of the coil on the stator. So that turned out to be, and I have no clue how this happened. I don't recall any events that would have been really percussive or a heavy jostle, but the little metal lead that the coil connects to at one end had cracked, and in visual inspection didn't really look like it was a problem at all until you wiggled it a bit and saw that there's this hairline crack that was separating it, which explained why it would work, and then I would add some things and then it would not work and then work again. So a little bit frustrating to diagnose, but that really leads me to why I wanted to kind of give this spiel in the first place. Kim and I were hanging out while I was going through this for the better part of the day. Just couldn't help but marvel at and have gratitude for the extra time that we have on our hands to tackle these kind of things. Like back in our old life when we were in a very, very busy situation, very stressful job that was probably eating up 10 to 12 hours of my day, and often would bleed into evenings and weekends if there were emergencies or system outages and stuff. A day could be absolutely precious, and then you have the added frustration of myself being fairly impaired when it comes to time estimates on projects. So I would say set aside some hours of the weekend to work on something that we had prioritized, and if it took more time than expected or ran into additional problems, had to go to a store to get a part or something, then that would kind of blow our plans away, because once that window expired, then it was back to the rat race and and try and find some other precious time somewhere in the week. So we're not saying that everybody should try and follow a path and a lifestyle that we have. This is for us, and we very much enjoy the slow pace and the kind of rural kickback that is our life now. But yeah, I would say just having gratitude for time and having just being appreciative of the fact that now, if I had to spend an additional day, I could find that time to work through whatever problem we have on our hands, and it's very rewarding, very stress relieving. In fact, that's the right way to put it.
So now that Al has finished fixing the DeWalt table saw that broke down in the middle of our blue box build, and we have 2 working table saws for the big build in the spring, which is going to make that job quite a bit more efficient, we are moving on to the next thing on our to-do list, which is actually a piano bench that Al started making for me when we were still living in the city as a Christmas present. Unfortunately, at the time, he had a pretty significant accident with a table saw that left his fingers out of commission for close to a year. So we've been just storing all that stuff up here, and he's going to finish that job up now. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a pretty beautiful piece of furniture, and it's also going to give us lots of storage for all of my music stuff, and I can take that all out of the shipping container. So pretty pumped about my new piano bench, and it's going to give me a comfortable seat to sit on when I'm practicing.
Stand by the fire, your tiny hand in mine. You're 5 feet off the ground. You rest on my shoulder. The stars convey the light, so fragile in the night. In this moment, forever be, in this moment, forever be. The night fades like a whispered song as time rushes on. Oh, it won't be long, fading now into a memory, a picture on the wall, a moment frozen not to fall. In this moment, forever be.
And it's going to be a source of rage. And it's going to be a source of rage. Why on earth would they put this so far in? I get it's for aesthetic purposes. Je sais. All has been revealed. Viday, mate. We clean bums for all, my friends. It was suggested to me that we look into portable, not portable, I guess, like we kind of like a add-on bidet for toilets. For folks like ourselves, obviously, that are on a field bed, a septic bed, in that it cuts back on paper, which means you are putting less solid waste into your septic tank, which means you aren't filling it up as quickly, and so therefore don't need to pump it out as often. So we went on to Amazon and chose a suitable model. I am cautious to say they're fairly easy to install, because we had a bit of a nightmare, only in that it's a very, very tight space, and we have a weird little RV toilet, and however it's made within the tank itself, it is a porcelain body, but it's got these weird holes inside. Lost a couple washers down there, very hard to retrieve. But I would say for most folk that have a normal sized bathroom, as long as you can get in behind there, there's not much to it. You're basically just adding a T to the existing connection, and then it has a line that runs off the side, a 1/4-inch line, to the actual bidet handle controller system. But it works great. In the end, pretty happy with it. The other thing that I would say is I didn't really pay attention to the size of the fittings that came with it. It didn't really give me an option when choosing, only a color option. But when it did arrive, the fitting on the back of our toilet is a 1/2 inch, pretty standard. But the T that came with our bidet kit did not. It was actually a little bit bigger. I don't know if it's like a European standard or an overseas standard, but it just slid right over the threads. It didn't thread on. So that was a trip to Home Hardware. Cost me, I think it was an extra $15, including taxes, to buy a stainless steel T, a 1/2 inch nipple, and then a 1/4 inch fitting for the hose. So that's my only caution. Just make sure, if you don't want to have to go and buy additional parts or run into problems, check all the measurements and make sure that they're compatible with the toilet you're upfitting. Good stuff.
And then you have a pimped out toilet like ours.
Yeah.
I want slow love, uncomplicated touch, stable as we go, consistent as we grow. I want slow love, no need to rush. I'll say it in my dreams, strange as it may seem. I reminisce the codependence, the games that we play, lost our minds. So maybe you could stay, 'cause you got me thinking that possibly I've changed. I need slow love, yeah, the real one. I've seen it in my dreams, strange as it may seem. Games that we play,
completed the piano bench and it has been well worth the wait. It is absolutely gorgeous and it's the most complicated piece he has tackled to date. At the risk of overstating it, this really is a dream come true. It's so great to be able to dedicate the time to refine our skills and learn new things. We never want to lose sight of the opportunity we've worked so hard to create and the good fortune that has smiled on us along the way.